The headlines. Tokyo Olympic Games to get underway with scaled-down opening ceremony at 4:30 p.m. Hockey captain Manpreet Singh and boxer Mary Kom to be flag-bearers for India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extends best wishes to Prime Minister of Japan Yoshihide Suga and the people of Japan for Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. Lok Sabha adjourned for the day and Rajya Sabha adjourned till 2:30 p.m. amid opposition protest on Pegasus snooping and other issues. TMC MP Shantanu Sen suspended from Rajya Sabha for the remaining part of the monsoon session for unruly behaviour. In Jammu, police shoots down a drone carrying 5 kg IED in Kanachak. Over 42 crore 34 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Indian Navy mobilizes flood rescue teams and helicopter to provide assistance in Ratnagiri and Raigad districts of rain-hit Maharashtra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. Today is National Broadcasting Day. Effective communication is an enabler and empowers citizens, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. And in cricket, India to take on Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international match in Colombo today. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-239-78046 and 1075. And now the news. After a year-long delay due to the coronavirus pandemic, the Tokyo Olympic Games finally get underway with a scaled-down opening ceremony this evening. The mega quadrennial event will begin at 4:30 p.m. Indian time at the newly built National Stadium in the Japanese capital. The ceremony will have none of the usual splendor and fanfare. Only about 950 people, including officials and reporters, will be allowed to watch the ceremony in person. From India, only 24 members, comprising 6 officials and 18 athletes, will participate in the opening ceremony. Indian men's hockey team captain Manpreet Singh will be the flag bearer alongside boxer MC Mary Kom. Athletes from archery, judo, badminton, weightlifting, tennis, shooting and hockey will not be part of the ceremony due to their events happening today and tomorrow. Today, archery, shooting, rowing and equestrian events will kick off. A report.
The greatest celebration of excellence in sports is finally here. Over the next 16 days, all eyes will be looking towards Tokyo, where sportspersons and athletes will be competing to show their excellence in the times when the virus-stricken world is looking for hope, motivation and some solace. Fans will see a much smaller team parade taking place in an almost empty Tokyo Olympic Stadium, as the ceremony will have none of the usual splendor. Leaders from 15 countries are expected to attend the event today. The march past will happen in the Japanese alphabetical order. From India, only 18 athletes will participate in the opening ceremony. Indian men's hockey team captain Manpreet Singh will be the flag bearer alongside 6-time world champion boxer MC Mary Kom. Participants from boxing, table tennis, sailing, rowing, gymnastics, swimming and fencing will take part in the ceremony. Rowing has 2 participating members while gymnastics, swimming and fencing have 1 each. Athletes from archery, judo, badminton, weightlifting, tennis, shooting and hockey will not be part of the ceremony due to their events happening today or tomorrow. Today, archery, shooting, rowing and equestrian events will kick off. The medals for Tokyo Olympics are made from recycled electronics and represent Japanese culture, with a ribbon showing off modernized checkered pattern and kimono layering techniques. The Tokyo 2020 colors are added to the ribbon through more CO2-friendly chemically recycled polyester fiber. While the back of the medal features Tokyo 2020 logo, the front depicts Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, in front of Panathinaikos Stadium. The theme for this year's Olympics and Paralympics is United by Emotion. It reflects the unifying power of sports. Tripti Srivastava, Sports Desk.
President Ramnath Kovind has conveyed his best wishes to the Indian contingent at the Tokyo Olympics on behalf of all Indians. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind said, "The entire nation's hopes and prayers are with the Indian contingent." He expressed confidence that they will all excel, win laurels and make the country proud. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his best wishes to Prime Minister of Japan Yoshihide Suga and the people of Japan for the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "We look forward to a season of incredible performances by the world's best sportspersons."
Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues continue to mar the proceedings in both the Houses of Parliament. The Lok Sabha has been adjourned for the day, while the Rajya Sabha till 2:30 p.m. today, following ruckus by the opposition. When the Lok Sabha met at 12 noon after first adjournment, opposition members including Congress, TMC and DMK again trooped into the well, raising slogans against the government. The presiding officer repeatedly asked the agitating members to allow the House to function, but in vain. Later, the House was adjourned for the day. Earlier, when the House met for the day, opposition members demanded judicial probe into alleged Pegasus snooping case disrupted the proceedings. Shiromani Akali Dal members were protesting against 3 farm laws. Amid the pandemonium, Speaker Om Birla tried to run the question hour. He urged the protesting members to return to their seats and allow the House to function. As the opposition protests continued, the Speaker adjourned the House. Earlier, Mr. Birla greeted Indian contingent to Tokyo Olympics 2020 on behalf of the House. Earlier, TMC MP Shantanu Sen has been suspended from Rajya Sabha for the remaining part of the monsoon session for his unruly behavior. Yesterday, when Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav rose in the House to make a statement regarding compromise of phone data of some persons, as reported in the media, TMC members rushed towards him and Mr. Sen snatched the statement copy from the minister's hand. However, the minister tried to make the statement with another copy amid ruckus. In the Rajya Sabha, when the House met at 12:30 p.m. after the second adjournment, suspended TMC MP Shantanu Sen refused to withdraw from the House. Deputy Chairman Harivansh repeatedly asked him to leave the House, but the member did not relent. Later, the House was adjourned till 2:30 p.m. Members from Congress, TMC, DMK, Shiv Sena, Left and others were on the feet raising the Pegasus snooping issue. Earlier, the House witnessed 2 adjournments. When the House reassembled at 12 noon, it was briefly adjourned till 12:30 as suspended TMC MP Shantanu Sen refused to leave the House. As noisy scenes continued, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu adjourned the House till 12 noon. Mr. Naidu expressed displeasure over the continuous disruption in the House and asked the members to think about their approach. He said in the meeting of leaders ahead of the session, they had expressed a keen desire to have a productive session. He urged the leaders to walk their talk by enabling smooth functioning of the House. Mr. Naidu said since discussion could not take place in the House, members are not able to record their views over management of COVID pandemic.
The government today said there should be no politics over the COVID vaccination issue. Replying to a question in the Lok Sabha, Health and Family Welfare Minister Mansukh Mandavia said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has held 20 meetings with state governments in the interest of the country. He said the centre has adopted a flexible approach in the vaccination drive, honouring the federal structure of the country.
ये मुद्दे पर राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमारा मकसद है, हर कोई का लक्ष्य है कि देश के 7% 18 एबव नागरिक को वैक्सीनेशन हो। उसके लिए हम सब लोगों ने साथ में मिलकर प्रयास करना चाहिए।
The Union Minister informed the House that after wide deliberations with the state governments, the Prime Minister had decided to give free vaccination to all from the 21st of June this year. Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal today said his ministry has sought approval of the Cabinet for implementation of the proposed centrally sponsored scheme Pradhan Mantri Vriksh Ayush Yojana. In a written reply in the Lok Sabha, Mr. Sonowal informed that a draft has been prepared for the Yojana. He said the scheme envisages promotion of cultivation of medicinal plants post-harvest management and marketing support for farmers and related industry.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, in a major development, the police in the wee hours today shot down an aerial object carrying an IED weighing 5 kilograms in Kanachak area of Jammu. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that a senior police official said that in the wee hours today a general information was received by Jammu police that a drone has been spotted near international border in Kanachok, after which a quick reaction team QRT deployed in the area as part of anti-drone strategy was pressed into action. The drone was spotted and police personnel shot it down.
ड्रोन थ्रेट तो है, लेकिन उसकी जो प्रिवेंटिव काम चाहे इंटेलिजेंस के जरिए चाहे वो फिजिकल जो हार्डवेयर के जरिए उसको जो रोकने का जो काम किया जाता है उसकी तैयारी चल रही है और हमें उम्मीद है कि हम किसी भी बड़े घटना को अंजाम देने से रोक पाएंगे। हमारा काम है कि जो इनपुट्स पे आगे वर्कआउट करें और उसके रोकथाम के लिए जो मुकम्मल प्रयास करें वो कर रहे हैं।
The aerial vehicle, generally referred as a drone, is tetracopter having 6 wings. On 5 of its wings, it had 5 kilograms IED material attached to it, which has been seized, and investigation as well as physical and technical examination is going on. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has said that no payment of Doordarshan is pending for recovery from the producers of TV serials. In a written reply in Lok Sabha today, he said that Doordarshan sells time slots and its channels to interested accredited agencies to air sponsored programs on those slots in compliance with the program code of Doordarshan. Minister said that commercial disputes arising from such accredited agencies are in various stages of arbitration. Prasar Bharati Board has also approved steps to settle such disputes from time to time.
The Union Government today said that more than 43 crore 87 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and Union territories so far. The ministry said a further 71 lakh 40,000 doses are in the pipeline. India has administered over 42 crore 34 lakh doses of COVID vaccine so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said more than 54 lakh 76,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. The ministry said 38,740 patients recovered during the last 24 hours, and the recovery rate now stands at 97.36%. Till now, more than 3 crore 4 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19. The country reported 35,342 new cases in the last 24 hours. The ministry said India's active caseload has further declined to around 4 lakh 5,000. The active cases constitute 1.3% of the total reported cases so far. The COVID helpline numbers are available on our website www.newsonair.gov.in.
In Madhya Pradesh, the ban on passenger transport to and fro between from Maharashtra will continue up to July 28th in view to effectively check spread of coronavirus. Meanwhile, the state reported 70 new COVID cases. More from a Bhopal correspondent.
Out of the 70 new cases of corona infection, Bhopal reported 3, Indore reported 7, Jabalpur 2 and 1 each reported in Balaghat, Khargone, Murena, Rajgarh and Shivpuri. The positivity rate is 0.02%. More than 76,000 tests were conducted yesterday. The death toll remained unchanged at 10,512, while 17 patients recovered from infection. The active cases in the state stands at 185. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
You were listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Tokyo Olympic Games to get underway with scaled-down opening ceremony at 4:30 p.m. Hockey captain Manpreet Singh and boxer Mary Kom to be flag bearers for India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extends best wishes to Prime Minister of Japan Yoshihide Suga and the people of Japan for Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. Lok Sabha adjourned for the day and Rajya Sabha adjourned till 2:30 p.m. amid opposition protest on Pegasus snooping and other issues. TMC MP Shantanu Sen suspended from Rajya Sabha for the remaining part of the monsoon session for unruly behaviour. In Jammu, police shoot down a drone carrying 5 kilogram IED in Kanachak. Over 42 crore 34 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Indian Navy mobilizes flood rescue teams and helicopter to provide assistance in Ratnagiri and Raigad districts of rain-hit Maharashtra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. Today is National Broadcasting Day. Effective communication is an enabler and empowers citizens, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. And in cricket, India to take on Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international match in Colombo today. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back to the Midday News. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will hold talks with Foreign Minister of the Maldives and President-elect of UNGA Abdullah Shahid in New Delhi today. They are likely to discuss key international, multilateral, regional and bilateral issues of mutual interest. The discussions are expected to give further momentum to the rapidly expanding ties between the two countries. An agreement for high-impact community development projects to be implemented with Indian grant assistance in the Maldives will also be signed during the visit. Mr. Shahid will share his vision for UNGA presidency through a virtual public address at the Indian Council of World Affairs premises today. India is the first country that he is visiting in his official capacity as the president-elect of UNGA since his election on the 7th of June. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. This will be the 79th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening.
Today is National Broadcasting Day. On this day in 1927, the first ever radio broadcast in the country went on air from the Bombay station. All India Radio is accessible to almost the entire population of the country and nearly 99% of the total area. The phenomenal growth achieved by All India Radio through decades has made it one of the largest broadcasting organizations in the world in terms of the number of languages of broadcast and the spectrum of socio-economic and cultural diversity it serves. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has greeted people on National Broadcasting Day. In a tweet, Mr. Thakur said, effective communication is an enabler and empowers citizens. CEO Prasar Bharati Sashi Shekhar Vempati, in his message on Broadcasting Day, tells about the role All India Radio can play as a public broadcaster.
I want to wish all the listeners on the National Broadcasting Day. The public service broadcaster has to look at public interest, national interest, social issues. तो ये जो momentary entertainment है, उससे ऊपर उठकर जो बड़ी समस्याएं हैं, बड़ी विषय हैं, इन सब पे ध्यान देना, कल्चर, संस्कृति को बढ़ाना, आगे बढ़ाना, शिक्षा को आगे बढ़ाना, साइंस को आगे बढ़ाना, और जो हमारे देश में इतनी बड़ी और डाइवर्स विरासत है, इन सब को प्रिजर्व करना, आगे बढ़ाना और इनमें जो डेवलपमेंट है, इन्हें पूरे देश में ही अभी तो टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से पूरे विश्व में भी सुनाना.
In the latest rankings of top countries in the world, excluding India, where All India Radio live streams or news on AIR app are most popular, Australia has risen up the rankings to second spot, while Fiji has slipped to rank 4. United Kingdom climbs up the ladder to rank 3. In major changes in rankings of top AIR streams globally, excluding India, AIR Kodaikanal has registered quite a significant jump from 8th to 6th spot.
At least 35 people have been killed in various rain-related incidents in Maharashtra. Raigarh's Guardian Minister Aditi Tatkare has said that around 32 persons are feared dead in Raigarh district due to landslide. 3 people lost their lives in Mumbai this morning. Ratnagiri, Raigarh, Sindhudurg, Kolhapur, Satara districts are heavily affected due to heavy rainfall and flood. Indian Navy, Coast Guard and NDRF are engaged in rescue and evacuation of affected people. We have more from our Mumbai correspondent.
Water level of various rivers in Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga, Satara, Sangli and Kolhapur districts have risen above alert levels. Water is being released from Koyna, Khadakwasla and other major dams in these districts. At some places, water is receding and rescue operations have started since morning. A total of 17 teams of NDRF, 7 teams of Navy, 2 teams of Coast Guard and various local teams are carrying out rescue and evacuation operations in the state. Few more teams of NDRF from Orissa will join this operation. Navy helicopters are helping to evacuate stranded persons. Local administration is trying to provide food, water and other necessary items to citizens. Water level of Vashishti River Bridge between Chiplun and Kamthe station on Konkan Railway has risen above the danger level, due to which Konkan Railway has diverted or cancelled various trains. Mumbai-Goa, Pune-Bangalore highway are closed for traffic. In Mumbai's Govandi area, 3 people were killed and 10 were injured in a building collapse incident early this morning. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Telangana, incessant rains continued for the 4th consecutive day today. Normal life has been hit with heavy rains continuing to lash several parts of the state. Heavy rains at upper riparian states resulted in swollen rivers and rivulets. A report.
About half of the 33 districts of Telangana have been put on high alert following heavy rains in upper riparian states, including Maharashtra, and also incessant rains in the state for the past few days. Swollen rivers, rivulets, streams and other water bodies are posing threat to several habitations, especially those which are in low-lying areas. The state authorities have asked the district administrations to take up on a war footing the rescue and relief operations in all affected areas. Control rooms are being set up at the district headquarters and evacuation of people has begun from the riverside areas. Meanwhile, heavy inflows are reaching to River Godavari at Bhadrachalam and the local officials are contemplating to flag danger number 3 as water level is expected to cross 52 feet by this evening. People have been sounded an alert not to venture out and public transport has been stopped, especially at the low-lying culverts and bridges in the rain-hit districts. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
Reserve Bank of India is planning to launch Central Bank Digital Currency (CBDC) in the near future. Deputy Governor T. Ravi Shankar said RBI is currently working towards a phased implementation strategy and examining use cases which could be implemented with little or no disruption. Conducting pilots in wholesale and retail segments may be a possibility in near future. He was speaking in a webinar organized by the Vidhi Center for Legal Policy, New Delhi. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today paid tributes to the great revolutionary and freedom fighter Chandrasekhar Azad on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said Azad was a devout patriot and resolute leader. His fearless spirit inspired many youngsters to join the freedom movement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also remembered Chandrasekhar Azad on his Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, during the prime of his youth, he immersed himself in freeing India from the clutches of imperialism. He said Chandrasekhar Azad was also a futuristic thinker and dreamt of a strong and just India.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today paid tributes to Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said he was a passionate nationalist, erudite scholar and fearless journalist. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid tributes to Lokmanya Tilak on his Jayanti in a series of tweets. Mr. Modi said Lokmanya Tilak's thoughts and principles are more relevant than ever before in the present circumstances. Marking the 165th birth anniversary of Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak today, Films Division is screening a 22-minute English documentary directed by Bishram Bedekar. Titled Lokmanya Tilak, the film brings to life the dramatic achievements of Lokmanya Tilak, who dominated the socio-political scene by his austere example and relentless struggle against colonial rule. The film offers a look into Lokmanya Tilak's personality as a scholar, educationist, mathematician and philosopher. The documentary is being streamed on Films Division's website and YouTube page all day today.
In cricket, a buoyant India will go for a clean sweep when it takes on Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international match at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo today. The match will start at 3 p.m. India won the first 2 matches to seal the series. The defeat in the second ODI against India was Sri Lanka's 9th loss in 10 completed matches in 2021, and the team is trying hard to overturn their fortune. Some Olympics tidbits. For the first time in history, 9 Indian boxers will participate in the Olympics. 4 pugilists, including world number 1 Amit Phangal, got byes in the pre-quarterfinals in the draws announced yesterday. Satish Kumar, Simranjit Kaur and Lavlina Borgohain are the 3 other players who have received byes. Guinea, a small African country, has pulled out of the Olympic Games, citing resurgence of COVID-19 variants. Syrian table tennis player Hind Jaza, who is just 12 years old, is said to become the youngest athlete to compete in the Tokyo Games.
Indian archer Praveen Jadhav finished at 31st position with 656 points in the ranking round. Atanu Das finished at 35th position with 653 points after 72 shots, and Tarundeep Rai at 37th with 652 points. Kim Dae-jeok of Korea topped the round with 688 points. At the soccer events in the Tokyo Olympics, which began yesterday, hosts Japan got off to a great start with a 1-0 win over South Africa. In other matches, striker Richarlison scored a first-half hat-trick as Brazil's men began their Olympic campaign with a 4-2 victory over Germany. But it was a tough opening match of the Olympic campaign for Argentina in Group C as they suffered a 2-0 defeat at the hands of Australia. Ivory Coast won 2-1 against Saudi Arabia, and Spain were held to a goalless draw by Egypt in the opening game of the men's competition. France's Olympic tournament got off to a disastrous start. They lost 1-4 to Mexico. New Zealand made history with their first ever win in men's football at the Olympics with a 1-0 victory over South Korea. Romania defeated Honduras 1-0 in Group B thanks to an own goal by Elvin Oliver.
The Sensex and the Nifty today logged modest gains in the afternoon trade. Both stocks climbed 0.4%, even as majority of the Asian indices were down. The Sensex regained 53,500 mark, while the Nifty climbed to trade near 15,900 level. The BSE Sensex jumped 220 points or 0.42% to trade at 53,057. The NSE Nifty also surged 59 points or 0.38% to trade at 15,883. In the forex market, the rupee also appreciated 4 paise against the US currency to trade at 74 rupees and 43 paise per dollar.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 26 and 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature will be 26 degrees, while maximum is expected to be around 29. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will also have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will experience a partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Temperature will hover between 17 and 29 degrees. Jammu will have a partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Leh is expected to have a generally cloudy sky. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will experience mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong and Aizawl will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Kohima and Agartala are also expected to have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Tokyo Olympic Games to get underway with scales down. Opening ceremony at 4:30 p.m. Hockey captain Manpreet Singh and boxer Mary Kom to be flag bearers for India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extends best wishes to Prime Minister of Japan Yoshihide Suga and the people of Japan for Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. Lok Sabha adjourned for the day. Rajya Sabha adjourned till 2:30 p.m. amid opposition protests on Pegasus snooping and other issues. TMC MP Shantanu Sen suspended from Rajya Sabha for remaining part of monsoon session for unruly behaviour. In Jammu, police shoot down a drone carrying 5 kg IED in Kanachak. Over 42 crore 34 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Indian Navy mobilizes flood rescue teams and helicopter to provide assistance in Ratnagiri and Raigad districts of rain-hit Maharashtra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. Today is National Broadcasting Day. Effective communication is an enabler and empowers citizens, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. And in cricket, India take on Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international in Colombo today. And with that, we end the midday news.